Hi everyone, how are you doing? Happy Thursday. Welcome to Facts and Two Cents. This is Petal. Hope you guys are having a fantastic week so far. Hope things are well. Hope it is cool where you are. In New York, we are a bit sweltering. Well, actually, today it hasn't been as horrible as the last couple of days, so I'm a little bit quite a bit actually grateful for that. Last couple of days have been a bit miserable, so and especially since I gave away my air conditioner, I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have done that. But our fans worked really well, but it was a little tough going there for a second. But anyway, welcome again. We are Facts and Two Cents. As you know, we are a channel that supports the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Harry, Meghan, Big Boy Archie, Baby Lily, Mama Doria, Pula Guy, the chickens, the entire Invictus community. All of us here at Sussex Squad are crazy. The crazy group of us, which I love. Wouldn't have it any other way. Hope you love it as well. So, anyways, hi guys. How are you? How is life? Let me head on over to the chat and see, who is here. I know Lydia is here. Church Nelly, who is still among us. I would assume after yesterday, I'd taken many cold showers. Karen F is here. Lydia is here. Elaine, Susie Q, Fancy, Dory, Mercedes, Mira, Carolyn, Elaine, Annie, Cookies and Cream. Hey, Cookies, our other awesome moderator is here. Let's see who else is here. See Mira. Okay, that's what we got so far. Hopefully our other friends can join us. We know we have about at the moment we have 77 and growing of our closest and dearest joining us, even if they're not in the chat. So before I start, so no one freaks out or it doesn't seem weird, I'm kind of trying a new thing where who knows if it's going to work, because the last time I was on, and actually it's happened a few times, we've had some X-rated guests who invaded our space. And so I was just like, I don't know, we're probably one of the cleanest podcasts. We don't even cuss on this podcast. So don't know why they would think this is a place to come and visit, but they have joined us for a few times, and they were on the chat the last time. So Baron has been trying to help me to figure out a way to make sure they don't come back. So I am trying where only people who have subscribed at least for a week, hopefully that will dissuade them. If they haven't subscribed to our channel, they cannot comment in the live chat. So I don't know if that's going to work. Just in case you are brand new and this, you haven't subscribed for a week yet, please don't freak out or anything or feel like, oh no, she doesn't want me to. I want to hear from you. I'm only trying to figure out the best way to get so X-rated trolls don't come and invade our space. So I was looking at a month and I was like, well, that's a little drastic. So I'm trying for a week to see if that somehow work, where if you have not subscribed for at least a week, you cannot comment in the chat. So keeping our fingers crossed, that work and that will dissuade any X-rated comments or accounts from invading our space. Thank you so much to our awesome moderators who got rid of them, but I just don't want anyone to have to deal with that. I mean, nobody should have to put up with that nonsense. So I certainly don't want to deal with it. So I don't, I just figure let's try it this way and see if that dissuades anyone, any of them from coming in to comment in the chat. So there you go. Again, if you have subscribed less than a week, it will be a week for you to start commenting if you so choose in the live chat. You can do the regular comments just in the live chat. just so we can get a handle on our X-rated trolls. So anyways, welcome you guys. I've missed you. I know the last time I posted, I wasn't able to be in the chat because that was our final day of doing our presentations, and so I kind of snuck out for a minute to post pin something that I wouldn't be in the chat. So thank you so much to our awesome moderators, Lydia, I know Trish, Nelly. I'm not sure if Karen M and Cookies and Cream were there because I wasn't able to stay for the chat, but if you guys were as well, thank you so much. I so appreciate you guys just taking over and taking care of the chat. I'm telling you, I cannot be more appreciative. So thank you, thank you, thank you. My summer teaching program is over. The kids were wonderful. The presentations were wonderful. It was a really great learning experience for me again, not only helping doing our class presentation, but also helping the other instructors with their presentations, making sure that they are great and, that their videos are all done and all of that stuff. So it was a big undertaking, but it's done. And I'm very happy. Hopefully I get to do it again next year. I'm very grateful that they trusted me, because first time I was really teaching teenagers or early teens. And so I'm just very grateful that they trusted me to be able to do that with the kids. And it was a great learning experience, really wonderful, creative time. So anyway, I am back, full-time back podcasting. So what's been happening in the world, guys? I know I posted, and it's so funny. Everyone is like, oh, this is for Church Nelly. Church Nelly is going to love this. Yesterday I was just having fun. I just figured that, we were having, there was just so much nonsense going around. We just needed a break. And what better break than, Harry and Nacho and Polo friends. And so thank you guys all for just laughing and just having fun with it. It was wonderful reading the comments and just laughing along with it because I think we all just need it. It was hot, it was miserable, and just mess happening. Why not just have some fun with it? And so I thank you for just making me come down off of, teaching and all of that and just have a laugh and just be in the comments and just enjoy reading. So thank you so much for indulging my nonsense. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Let's see. Oh, Robert is joining from Rome as usual. Hello, Robert. Hello, Pedal and Squad. He's joining from Rome. Oh my gosh, it's 1 a.m. I am so sorry, Robert. I'm keeping you up. I am so sorry. But I am happy you're here. I've missed you. I've missed your time, your little wine time. And so thank you for joining us. Let's see. Trish Ellie says, I don't know how you could be a teacher. I would be throwing the erasers at the Well, it's one of the things that helped, Church Nelly, it's that it's virtual. So if I threw the eraser, I'd be throwing it at my wall and most likely it would bounce back and hit me. So I don't know. I mean, for me, I love in person because you get to see them. But, we are in the COVID age. So this was the best way and the safest way. I mean, people are still being infected with COVID. So this was the safest way. And I mean, teaching, any teacher would tell you, it definitely comes with its challenges and stuff. I think it helped me that it was, it's a creative. I mean, I'm a creative. So it helped me that I was teaching art. And so that was fun, and it's something that I enjoy teaching. So whether someone, whether there's issues or not, when you're in a creative space and you're in a really safe, creative environment, you just feel like, okay, you can handle anything because it's so safe and it's supportive and it's inspiring. And then you're creating art. So it just really naturally just puts you in a good mood. So it didn't matter what was happening. I was just having a good old time. So yeah, so that was fun. Let's see what else you guys are saying in the chat. Oh, Wendy says, good evening, squad. Happy Thursday, and happy Thursday to you, Wendy Lohman. Happy Thursday and welcome. Mama Jane says, hi, Mama Jane. Mama Jane says, Petal, you did great for giving us that royal report. I love how she said this. Yes, that was a true and honest royal report. Absolutely. Absolutely. And one of the, and it was enjoyable royal report. Miss YC, oh, Miss YC, I haven't seen you in a while. It's so good to see you. Miss Y Senior says, I thought it was special to see Nacho and Harry me. I think it was special too. It's so great for me. I felt like it was brother appreciation time. So it's like, why not appreciate our brothers? And so Maverick says, hi, Maverick. Maverick says, not just COVID Petal, also that hideous monkeypox. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Yes, thank you. Thank you. I'm so focused on COVID, I forgot about monkeypox. Yep, that is happening. It's like, do y'all feel like the plagues is happening? You know how they're like those biblical plagues where it's just one thing after another, and it's just like, really? We're not even done with COVID, and now there's monkeypox. And then they're talking about it's something else that they're saying that we need to vaccinate. And I was just like, oh my goodness. How many, is it polio or something? I don't remember. I think my brain is just like, oh, I can't take any more of this. But I feel like we're in the times of biblical times of plague, so thank you, Lydia. Lydia says, but we are happy to have you back. Love the podcast. Thank you so much, Lydia. And thank you. And again, our wonderful moderators, Church Nelly, Karen M, Cookies and Cream, and if Julia Rock is on, Julia as well. Thank you guys for doing such an amazing job and holding down the fort when I am all up in school project stuff. I appreciate it. Thank you. Let's see. Carolyn says, Sure, Shelley, you need to paste your face with nacho. But notice, you guys, I made sure and put Delphina and Meghan in the end. It's like, the P wives uniting. So there you go. Oh, Lydia's agreeing. She's like, yeah, I do. Fulfillment of prophecy. I'm telling you, it's kind of weird that all of this stuff, maybe it's happened before and I just hadn't noticed. And maybe it happened before our time, whatever, with all this stuff happening all at the same time. But it is just weird. It's just like we're not done. And all of a sudden we're in another one. It's really, really crazy. But anyway, guys, stuff is happening. I mean, if you guys have been and I'm sure, and I was running around today, so I didn't get a chance to listen to Baron or Duchess of Success, but fun stuff are happening with our faves. And just in case some of you may not have been on those podcasts and you may not have known, so the ones of you who know about this, bear with us because this is for those of us that didn't know, and I'm going to share this with them. So this is really fun, and I just thought so deserving for our wonderful Archewell team. They're going to be honored in New York. I think it was next week. And, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, they're coming back. It's like, oh, wait, no. They're going to be honored by Human First Coalition, which is an organization that helps Afghan refugees. And so they're in New York, and they are going to have this award ceremony on the 15th, which is next week. What is today? The 10th? Yeah, next week. And so they are going to be doing that. And so they are honoring, and Safi Raud, who is the, the founder, one of the founders of it. I think he founded it was his brother. And he says, I and Sammy Kenneld are thrilled to welcome such tremendous honorees and performers to our benefit on 8/15 at the Metropolitan Pavilion in New York City. You can learn more and donate, purchase tickets, and underwrite the attendance of the Afghan refugee at humanfirstcoalition.org. And so this is, I love this little plaque that they put together. I was like, oh, I love this. And so one of the people that they are honoring is Archewell. And Human First Coalition is pleased to honor Archewell Foundation and its co-founders, Prince Harry and Meghan, Duke and Duchess of Sussex, at our New York City benefit on August 15th. More information and tickets at Human First Coalition. And I just love the fact that, again, this, they were honored by the NAACP last year. Oh, no, wait, early this year. Yep. Seems like such a long time ago, but I think it's early this year. They were honored, and now there again, their foundation is being honored. And I just love their work that they're doing. And now, even though I want to hear more from them, they are just doing their stuff quietly and privately. And I love that. And I love the fact that, because since they've been here, they have been supporting so many organizations. And especially they have, think about 4 or 5 different organizations that's taking care of Afghan refugees and that they have been supporting. And Human First Coalition is one of those. And the first time we actually heard about Human First Coalition was here when they did their happy holiday, famous Baby Lily coming out Christmas card. And they, for I guess their friends and the people in their life, they donated money to in their friends and again people in their life. They donated to these organizations in their name. And so some of the organizations that they donated to were Team Rubicon, Welcome US, Human First Coalition, and Humanity Crew. And the first 3 are Afghan. They specifically taking care of Afghan refugees. And Humanity Crew, as we all remember them from the Me You Can See, they take care of different ones like Syrian refugees and a bunch of others. And we've done a whole episode on Humanity Crew before. And so that was the first time I was really hearing about Human First Coalition. And Human First Coalition, when SUSSEX has sent out their stuff, their press release and their card and all of that stuff, and naming them as one of the people that received a donation from them, Humanity First tweeted about it. It says, "We are proud to partner with Archewell Foundation and Prince Harry and Meghan, Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Through a generous contribution this holiday season, they are providing care for families in need in Afghanistan and supporting life-saving efforts we are undertaking daily." And again, they definitely work with people who are in need with housing, food, and all of those things. And we know, especially, food insecurity is one of the big things with Harry and Meghan, making sure that people are taken care of. So that was the first time, at least I mean, many people may have known about them before. I didn't know about them. Team Rubicon and also Welcome US. The first time I was hearing about them as well. Humanity Crew, as I said, I heard about them before because they were featured in the Me You Can See. And so this was the first time we were hearing about them. And it again, just how much, Prince Harry served in Afghanistan. So this is something that's close to his heart. This is causes that are close to his heart and also close to Meghan's, because, she's always been supportive of the military and the work that they do. And obviously part of Archewell. And this is also this is from their press release. It's so funny. This whole thing came out yesterday with one of the tabloids posting it, and I was just like, I couldn't find this information anywhere, and I didn't want to use the tabloid stuff, so I was just like, where? I went digging. I'm like, where is this information? How did the tabloids get this? How did they learn about this? And then I found out today, it's a press release. Okay, they sent out, so Human First Coalition sent out a press release, so I guess they sent it out to different press. Part of the people some of the people that got that was the Tabloid, who has always been, they are like, I don't know, I swear they are like, what is that? They're like ticks on their skin, like ticks on a dog, or is it fleas that just sticks to the dog's skin? Like they are like that. Or they're like boils on the booty. They just like will not go away. It's like they spend their life digging for information about the Sussexes. It's like, go away. You're like unwanted guests. And they've never been guests. But anyway, they're the ones who had the information first, and I didn't want to use their stuff, so I was so happy I found this from Digital Journal. It says and this was part of the press release. It says Human First Coalition and the Army Week association to honor Senator Richard Blumenthal and Archewell Foundation at its first fundraiser in New York City. Receiving the partner organization award is the Archewell Foundation and its co-founders, Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, for their advocacy on behalf of and generous financial support for at-risk Afghans as well as military veterans who served in Afghanistan. Accepting the award will be Archewell's Foundation Executive Director, James Holt. It's an honor to be recognized by Human First Coalition, whose steadfast work in Afghanistan has played a critical role in delivering much-needed aid and resulted in the successful evacuation and resettlement of thousands globally. We share a commitment to support families and veterans and are grateful for their partnership. James Holt, Executive Director of Archewell Foundation. Both Senator Blumenthal and Archewell Foundation were instrumental in assisting us as we organized efforts to assist Afghans who were left behind when the Taliban took Kabul, Rob said. We cannot thank them enough for their support. And it is amazing just how far-reaching and talk about a global foundation. And I love this so much because we have Afghanistan here, we have their support in Ukraine, we have the World Central Kitchen that is all over wherever there's that disaster, all over the world they are. And it's like they're in Africa, with Sentebale and all of the CAMFED and all of the organizations that they support there. I mean, they're in the UK, they're in the US. I mean, it's just all over. And I just love this about Archewell. And one of the things too that I'm sure, the British press and others are probably jonesing for the day that Archewell starts accepting donations, because they would want to go after them about donations, people donating to them, and there is no way to donate to Archewell because they don't take donations. And it is so great how they have decided to model the model they're using for their foundation, where they're not soliciting donations. They are funding whatever it is they're doing. They're using that funds to fund their charity and their foundation. And I just love the way they're doing it. And whatever they're doing it privately. And so it's stay out of the press. And I love it. And this is such a great honor. And, this is their Human First Coalition's, their first award. So we look forward to, many more. And so congratulations to Archewell and to Senator Blumenthal for their incredible work supporting the Afghan refugees. And the thing about it, and this is a little bit about what's going to be happening on the 15th. And, if you're interested, the link is in the actually, did I put the link to yes. The link is in the show notes. I think I forgot this one link. I'm going to put this. Every other link is in the show notes. I think I forgot to put the link to this charity event. So if you're interested and you can afford it, and you can afford $100, $99, $1,500, or $10,000 to be a part of this fundraiser, please go ahead. I mean, I am looking on the right and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, if I could afford this, that food looked amazing. I've never had Afghan food before, so I'm like, ooh, it would be great to try something new. And I love exotic looking food. So it's like, yep, I would love to try some of that. So if nothing else, the food. But it'll be a great time on August next Monday. So if you can afford to go, again, I'll put the link in the show notes. So that way it'll be a link to the Human First Coalition. And then when you click on it, that's the first thing that pops up is about the awards next Monday. So awesome. And a little bit about Safi Roth, I think you would say his name. And about Human First. It's Safi says, this is his Twitter account. It says, our team continues to deliver life-saving healthcare to most remote areas of Afghanistan, especially to children and women. Join us on August 15 in New York City to learn more at Human First Afghan. And then a little bit more about Safi. He's the executive producer, is an Afghan American, a former Afghan refugee, humanitarian, 2021 Washingtonian of the Year. He's a TED Fellow, Tillman Scholar, Georgetown graduate, a medical student, Navy reservist, and a founder of Human First Coalition, an organization dedicated to providing critical needed aid to Afghanistan. Safi has worked to provide food, medical care, and resettlement services to Afghans in need. In December, Safi was unlawfully detained and held by the Taliban for 105 days and was subsequently released in early April, following negotiations between the Taliban and the Biden administration. Now, a little bit even more about Safi. He says Safi, who, it kind of repeats, but Safi Roth, a former prisoner of the Taliban who put his medical career on hold to establish Human First Coalition with his brother, today announced a lineup of honorees. Roth returned to Afghanistan in December 2021 to continue his humanitarian efforts. He was unlawfully detained and held by the Taliban for 105 days. He was tortured, went on a hunger strike, and sat in an 8-foot by 8-foot basement room with no blankets, mattress, or daylight. He was finally released. His captures basically said it was an error. So hang on one second. I'm going to take off our little scrolly thing. And again, if you haven't done the scrolly thing, subscribe, do what it says, and like this podcast if you like. But it is, again, if you look at the bottom, it says when he was finally released, his imprisonment was called a mistake by the Taliban. And so that's a little bit about him. He's an incredible man. He put his career, his career on hold so that he could start this organization, and they are doing incredible things for the very vulnerable of Afghan refugees here and also in Afghanistan. So a great job, and we look forward to it, and look forward to the Sussexes doing a lot more with Human First. So it's it's awesome. And I mean, this is not the first time. I mean, again, the Sussexes, they have been supporting different organizations that have been supporting Afghan refugees. And we remember when they were in New York for last November, when they did the awards for men and women who have invisible wounds. And so when they were there after that award ceremony, they went off to New Jersey. And so, which was a surprise, like, oh, okay, I didn't even realize there were Afghan refugees at an army base in New Jersey. And it says, Harry and Meghan visit Afghan refugees at the Task Force Liberty. Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, visited a military base Thursday where they met Afghan refugees who had made it to the United States. The couple spoke to women recently arrived at Task Force Liberty, the joint base, McGuire-Dix, Lakehurst, New Jersey, which is home to more than 10,000 Afghan refugees. A spokesman for them says The royals asked to spend time with young children who were in daily schooling and stop by the classroom with children learning conversational English. Harry and Meghan talked with the kids, many of them practicing their English by saying phrases like "nice to meet you," spokesman said. The couple asked the staff about common terms in Dari, Persian dialect spoken in Afghanistan, and left every interaction with the children saying Tashakar, I guess, or thank you. And so we remember that from last year. Again, this was when they came and they were at the Intrepid and they did their award ceremony, and then the next day they were in New Jersey. They also supported, Women for Afghan Women, and this was one of the group that they also donated to. And so Afghan women also they posted on their Instagram about it. Said, "We are immensely grateful for the generosity of Archewell Foundation in support of our efforts to relocate thousands of Afghan women, children, families, including our staff." And so again, this is something that, and again, what I love about the Sussexes is that they're not doing this for a war. They're not paid to do any of this. They are not taking taxpayer funds to do any of this. But I just love the fact that this is just who they are and what they want to do out of their own free will. They can just be like, you know what? We are millionaires. We don't have to do any of this stuff. We don't have to you never have to hear from us. We don't have to give anyone anything, but they do it out of the kindness of their heart, which is a lot more than we can say for the others. And so I absolutely love their heart. And I am so happy to see that they are being honored for, just what they've been doing and how much they've been giving. Because since they've been in the U.S., they had all this narrative about, they're coming to the U.S. for fame. They're coming to the U.S. for attention. They're coming to the U.S. to take over Hollywood and all that nonsense. The one thing they haven't done, they've been here for over 2.5 years now, or almost. And I've never seen them in Hollywood. I mean, I've seen Harry did the Tonight Show with James, whatever his last name, I can't even think of his last name at the second, but it's like they're not in Hollywood. All the things that they were claiming they are, the only thing that they've done since they've come here, they have not asked for one thing. They have just given and given and given. They've donated and served and given. That's all they have done since they've been here. And so it is great to see that, they are being honored for their heart and for their service and how much they have given. So I applaud them. Oh, thank you. James Corbin. Wait a minute. Is it Corbin? That's it? That's his last name? You sure? That doesn't sound right. Or maybe it's just spelled differently. I don't know. maybe that it for some reason that the last doesn't sound like that's what it is, but maybe I'm just wrong. When he says the Sussex is all action, put in the hard work, not sound bites, which is so true. Absolutely true. Compassion in action. That absolutely what they are. It is I just love them. Yes, Karen says Meghan was teaching the children. That's right. And there's a photo of Harry sitting in the audience while she's teaching the kids. Yes, absolutely. So I absolutely love that. I mean, when I heard that they were in New Jersey, it was just like, oh, really? And then when I heard, and again, no one knew, at least I didn't know. Maybe other people knew that there were 10,000 refugees at the army base. I had no idea. And so I'm so happy that they were there and went to support. Lorna says, "Pero please explain more about these foundations. As learned as I am, I know little about how they are run." You know what? I am going to continue with them. I am going to do little episodes about specific different foundations, so that way that we all know what they do. And since the Sussexes are quiet, instead of focusing, I guess, on Shutter Island, some of which I'm going to focus on today, But I guess in next few episodes, I am going to focus on these, and this is a perfect time so that we can all educate ourselves on these foundations. So thank you, Lorna. I certainly will. That is a great idea. We started with a few of them for Meghan, but we hadn't touched on any of Harry's. So since we're doing fundraiser for CamFed, so I guess the next one I'll do is one on CamFed. So that way we all know who we're celebrating, who we're giving, donations to. Obviously, CamFed, they have a website online. I'll put the link to that. You can always read up on that as well. But we'll talk about it. And so that way, by the time the Sussexes come back, we are all versed on all the people that they support. So I love it. Thank you. And then we won't have to focus on the others. So great. So thank you. Let's see, a couple more before we jump in and move on. Let's see. Scrolling through the comments. Mercedes says, Harry did James Corden. Oh, man, that sounds closer. Yeah, James Corden. And Meghan did Ellen DeGeneres. Yeah. So thank you, Mercedes. So apart from those, they haven't been in Hollywood. So it's just like all those awards and red carpets that they were, claiming the Sussex is going to be a part of, they have been a part of none. So, again, they have not asked for anything. They've just been here giving. And so kudos. I am very, very proud of them and it's what they said they were going to do. So, yeah. Let's see. Patricia Nixon. Hi, Patricia. Patricia says it's Sentibali for the current fundraiser, right? Yes, that's right. Sentibali. So next time we do a chat about foundation, we will do it about Sentibali. So yes, that's who we are fundraising for at the moment. Again, there is that. There is also the ongoing, World Central Kitchen one that it's still there. Stuff is still happening all over the world. So that's also still open. But the ones that we are focusing right now on is Sentibali. That is the fundraiser. The link is in the show notes. It's already all there. So you can always jump in there if you'd like to go ahead and help out with that. So anyways, let's see. Moving on. Okay, so moving on, we are going to change a little bit here. I'm kind of getting a hang of my little change music. So, yeah, definitely getting a hang of that a little bit and learning how to fade things. So we're going to change up a little bit. And so Omid Scobie, actually, let me get rid of Patricia's comment. Thank you, Patricia, for your comment. I appreciate it. Change a little bit to security. Omid Scobie wrote an article today. Omid writes a weekly for Yahoo News. He's the executive editor, as you can see at the top there. And so Omid has been really preaching truth and facts, and of course the other royal gossipers hate him because, he will not bow down and he will not, toe the line or walk the line or, being under any invisible contract with the royal family. So he gets a lot of hate. So Omid wrote an article today about Prince Harry's security. And actually, it says, he said, the security of others should never be for debate. The Duke of Sussex and the Home Office may not see eye to eye, but there is only one acceptable solution in this fight. Reinstate Harry's security at his own expense before it's too late. And that basically the title of the article is just so long, I just couldn't pull it in. But the title of the article is exactly that. Reinstate it before it's too late. And I look at that and I was like, well, I don't think the royal family are really all that interested in it being too late. At least they don't seem to care that, what they're doing can cost Harry and Meghan. I don't even want to think about it. Like, don't even want to think about it in those terms. But that is a reality. And the fact is, the royal family don't care. And so you have to admit the fact that, I have no proof of any of this, but they don't seem to care that, anything happening to the Sussexes. So at least from what they've been doing. So, but anyway, the article, and just a couple of snippets from the article. So it's not very long, but I just got these two. It says, given this fact, which, basically Omid just talked about, to reinstate his security before it's too late. It says, given this fact, it is hard to then understand why Prince Harry is still locked in a lengthy high court battle with the British Home Office over protection privileges he lost in early 2020. The Duke said he has been forced to keep visits to his home turf few and far between, as his private security in the US doesn't have adequate jurisdiction in Britain, i.e. access to necessary intelligence and the ability to arm themselves. Ravek, which includes senior aides of the royal household and former government officials, don't appear to have appear to have a publicly visible and defined set of guidelines for this issue. If they did, then surely the sensitivities around Prince Andrew and his security arrangements would have come under immense scrutiny. Harry's fears aren't rooted in paranoia. While covering Harry and Meghan's time as working royals, I was made aware of the astonishing number of threats sent to the couple. The majority received from UK locations, and many of them rooted in racism towards the Duchess. And also included in the article is threats towards them while they were there for the Platinum Jubilee. And the link is in the show notes. You can read the article about it. And that also extends to Omid, because tabloids have been claiming that Omid is a spokesperson, that he's a friend of the Sussexes and a spokesperson, their mouthpiece, and all of those things. Those threats that targets Harry and Meghan, they have been also going towards Scobie. And so all of that is in the article. And it is, as he said, it is unbelievable that we are still at a point where the British establishment, the royal family, the Ravek, the Home Office don't care. And that's what it is. They don't care if Harry and Meghan are dead. They really don't. Because if they did, they wouldn't still be locked in this battle. They would have been like, yeah, you know what? He needs security, of course. Anybody with any kind of common sense, anybody who care about someone's well-being would, could look at this and be like, well, dude, of course he needs security. Of course. So it is, I think this is where we are. It's like, and again, Ravek, and I'm glad that Ravek is the scrutiny is now on Ravek, that if they had a set of standards, then they would have to explain then Prince Andrew's security, because they literally have approved Prince Andrew after he paid up the money to Virginia. They went ahead and approved him to keep security after he was stripped. The same Ravek who denied Harry security approved Prince Andrew's. And not only is Scobie writing this, one of their glorified tabloids, the Telegraph, who I don't really use the Telegraph, but it's very interesting to me that whenever, Harry and when they don't have any information, any news, any gossip about the Sussexes, they tend to focus on what they need to be focusing on. And so today, after Scobie's article, Telegraph is now shining a spotlight on Ravek and Prince Andrew's security. And why is Prince Andrew? Why did they approve Prince Andrew's security and not Prince Harry's? And so that puts a big spotlight, and I think that's why they're so angry that Harry has taken this to court, because now they are going to have to explain their reasoning. If you are going to take away Harry's, and Harry is okay, he's not working for the royal family anymore, but neither is Andrew, and there are credible threats, like literally, according to Scobie's article, when they were there for the Jubilee, the Metropolitan Police, and I guess whomever else, they intercepted threats towards the Sussexes. And so if you're going to be still standing and saying, well, no, they don't deserve, they don't deserve full security that they had, then you're going to have to explain Andrew. And so now even their glorified tabloids is shining a light on Ravek. And this is what needs to happen. More and more people need to shine a light on this. Because again, as we've been talking about forever, the royal household members are a part of Ravek. The Queen's private secretary is a part of Ravek. Well, her former assistant private secretary, he no longer works for her, but he was a part of it, Ravek, when they decided that Harry no longer to take away Harry's security. And Prince Charles is head of household, who is there now, that alderman guy. He is also a part of Ravek. So they're going, I am so happy that the spotlight is now, again, even their glorified tabloid is shining the light. Well, explain that. So the tabloid article today is like, Prince Andrew continues to receive taxpayer-funded police protection. Decision was made by the same committee that denied Prince Harry and his family automatic security when he is in the UK. The Duke of York still receives taxpayer-funded police protection despite no longer undertaking official duties, the Telegraph has learned. We knew this. I guess they went to fully confirm it. I don't know. Prince Andrew's entitlement to police bodyguard was subjected to a full review after he was exiled as a working royal by the Queen earlier this year, shortly before agreeing to a hefty financial settlement for his sex abuse with his sex abuse accuser. The Executive Committee for the Protection of Royalty and Public Figures, known as RAVEC, assessed the security threat, but concluded that he was still entitled to police bodyguards. The annual cost of his personal security is unknown, but it has been variously estimated at anything between 500,000 and £3 million. And again, the royal family, nor the Metropolitan Police, nor Ravek, or any one of them, Home Office will ever disclose how much the security for the royal family costs. Republic Group, think about them, whatever you want, but they estimated, they always talk about the sovereign grant, like this year it was up to 102 million pounds. They estimate the actual cost to taxpayers for the royal family yearly is closer to almost 350 million pounds, because they do not include security in that total. They never say how much security for the royal family costs, because they always say that, it'll compromise the security. So they never say how much it costs. But Republic Group, again, think whatever, you want. They are, whatever they are. But according to their estimations, it's closer to 350 million pounds for security, for the sovereign grant to the royal family. Would I doubt it? No, absolutely not. Look at when Kate and William went to the James Bond opening, it was 30-something thousand pounds just to go from Kensington Palace to wherever that place they had the wherever they had the James Bond premiere. It was only a few miles, and it was 30-something thousand pounds. So imagine year-round security for the royal family, what that will cost. So again, when they don't have any news on the Sussexes, they will turn around and eat their own. It's just the British press culture. They are like that. They will suck the blood out of each other. And it's whatever we think of them, at least the spotlight is on Ravik. And that is what needs to happen. These secretive organizations, they need, and I'm so happy, that Harry has done this. And that's why I think he went ahead and filed that other lawsuit to make sure to bring the Metropolitan Police in part of it, because now they're going to have to answer. They are going to have to answer as to their methods, how they reached the decision, what they took into consideration, why Prince Andrew still has security and yet Prince Harry doesn't. What is the thinking? What is the role of, exactly role that Edward Young and Alderman Guy and the other one, the former assistant private secretary, how much of a role they play in actual taking away? Why did they not, tell the other members of Ravik that Harry wanted to pay? Why did they withhold all of those information from them? So I am happy that the Sussexes are under their tree in Montecito, in spite of the fact that tabloids are stalking them. Every time you turn around is like a bear or a lion or a cheetah, whatever it is, that they're stalking the Sussexes' house. And it's just like, you just need to just go get a hobby or something. You have no news. But anyways, I'm just happy that a spotlight is being shown on this. So yeah. Oh wow, my Jones is the new member. Welcome to the 2 Cents Crew. Thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on and being a part of our 2 Cents Crew. Thank you so much. Thank you. And I just want to say, for all our new 2 Cents Crew members, just in case you didn't realize, all the information, whenever I post anything for the 2 Cents Crew, you'll find it in the community page. So if you haven't checked through our community page, that's where I'll post, whether it's links to something, private videos that little private videos that I will post. Any of those things would be in the community page. So when you go on our site, on our page, if you haven't, it could be if you're doing it on your phone, the community page is a little bit hidden. So just scroll right, and you'll see community page, and there you'll find stuff that's, for everyone, and then also for 2 Cents Crew members. So just in case I didn't say that before, I apologize, but that's where you will find information about the 2 Cents Crew. So welcome, Mar Jones. Let's see what you all saying about Adrian. Hi, Adrian Burris says, I can't believe Parliament would allow this to happen, especially with Andrew. They're all in it together. They are all in that mess together. It's like, I scratch your back, you scratch my back, it's like it's I think it was Double Down News talk about just the incestuous, either Double Down News or Byline Investigates. One of them had a video out about just the incestuous relationship between all of these entities, like the royal family, the British press, the government. I mean, one thing is like they all intermarry and they all have these intimate relationships with each other. And so it's kind of like you'll see one person is in the press, and they'll be married to somebody in the government who also, for example, Sarah Vine and her ex-husband, whatever her ex-husband is, was it Michael, somebody who he just broke up the relationship recently? I forgot what his name is, but she was married to him, and he's also a member, he's also a part of the Queen's Privy Council. And it's like you have these people and they all are intertwined with each other, and so it's kind of like they're not going to do anything about Prince, because they're all part of the whole mess. That's why, say for example, you don't see the Daily Mail really going after Andrew. Why? People in the Daily Mail have relationship with him, and they were all part of the same Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein mess with Andrew. So it's all they're all like, this incestuous group of people, and you're like, that's why nothing, Andrew will get away with having security, and nobody says, much of it. Even when like they wrote about this, they're not really going after Andrew. They're just stating the fact, which I appreciate the fact that they're doing it. But think about it. If Harry was in this position of Andrew, if this was Harry, what would they be saying? And how differently would this article come out? You know? And so even when they did a report on, say, the facts of, say, Prince Charles's mess with, cash in a bag and all of these things, they report it, but they don't attack. They just state it and then move on to something, bury it somewhere and move on to something else. And this is kind of what they have done with Prince Andrew, where it's to the fact where they're not monstering him. What they're doing with Harry and Meghan is that they're monstering them. And they're doing, it's what narcissistic people do. It's like if they can't control you, they want to control how people see you. And that is what they're doing. They will monster you. They will, think of all the things that they've been doing to Harry and Meghan and all the ways that they have been attacking. They're not simply writing about them. They're literally going after them to defame, to destroy, and to kill. That's what they're doing, and to kill their character, to kill everything, and to control how people see. To the point where even now, the nonsense of every time you turn around is, oh, there's a bear going around Harry and Meghan's house. There's a lion. Oh, no, it's a cheetah. It's a whatever. People are trying to break it in. What? And it seemed very like, oh, we're just concerned about Harry and Meghan's home. But no, what they're doing is monstering the community. Because what they want to do is, now that people around the world are going to have this view of that community. Oh, it's dangerous that, since Harry and Meghan are there, that there people, their tabloids are coming around, that their, photographers are coming around. There are all these things that they're doing that is negative, so that people would start in that community would be like, since they moved into this community, all of this negative press is coming at our community. And so that those people could start looking at Harry and Meghan in a negative light. This is what they're doing. They don't care about, if animals are running around the community. But they're trying to control, because Harry and Meghan are not giving them anything. So they're trying to control how people view them. It's the reason why this miserable guy wrote that miserable book. It's the same thing. It's what they're doing. And so it's like, but when you look at the way how they have actually written about this man who, committed a crime, or, you say allegedly, whatever. Look at how differently they write about him, and it's just, yeah. Anyways, moving on. Wendy, I keep coming to you, Wendy. I guess you were it for the day, and she's talking to legs. Says he's just has to address some of the concerns, mistreatment, hatred of his wife. If not, it will have mixed reviews. These concerns cannot be ignored. Too blatant. Everyone sees it. I'm assuming you are writing. You're talking about Harry's book. My thing is, Harry could address, if that's what you're talking about, he could address whatever he wants to address. If he doesn't want to address it, he doesn't have to. They've already have. It's his book. He can write, and he was very specific about what. Again, I don't know if that's what you're talking about, but if that's what you're talking about, he's already said what what his book was about. So. If you're writing a book, you have your memoir, you have a right to put whatever it is you want to put in there. So, and it doesn't matter. And again, if you're thinking in terms of, say, the British press, it doesn't matter what Harry or Meghan write. It doesn't matter what they said. They can have the cure for COVID. They can have the cure for cancer. They can have the cure for just about every disease. The British press will be negative about it. It doesn't matter. At this point, again, like I said, this is what's called monstering. That is what they're doing. It's like, I can't control you, so I will destroy you. This is what they're doing. Is what the royal family have done. Is what they've did to Princess Diana. It's the same thing. The same people who are now like, oh, Princess Diana was so wonderful. She was this, and oh my gosh, I can't believe, whatever. Those were the same people back then who was destroying her. They were the same people who was doing exactly this, monstering her back then, So it doesn't matter what Harry and Meghan did. It doesn't matter what they put in the book. It doesn't matter what they say. Every single thing that they do and say, it will be talked about in a negative light. It doesn't matter. So Let's see. Moving on. Oh, Sylvia. Hey, Sylvia. Sylvia says, but if you remember that there's a trial going on while the Sussex family were last in the UK, where the horrible man called Archie, a horrible name, and they had gone after Harry as a traitor. If you remember, there was a trial going on. There's a trial going on for this? Oh, I didn't. Wait. I'm not really sure I understand, Sylvia. There's a trial going on while the Sussex were in last in. There's a horrible man that called Archie a horrible name when they had gone after Harry for traitor. Huh. Okay. I'm not quite sure I understand. I'm so sorry. Oh, wait. Who is saying Susie Q is a troll? No, Susie Q is not a troll. Who is saying that? No, she's not a troll at all. Susie Q is one of us. So Susie Q is here. She's a squatty. Is someone the real Susie Q is not a troll. So is someone trying to impersonate Susie Q? Is that what I'm understanding? Oh no. I hope not. Lord, I'm trying to protect us, and oh Lord, I hope not. So, but no, Susie Q is one of us. Diane says, right, Pedal, breaking news, a swarm of Montecito butterflies are coming. We're seeing heading towards Archie and Lily's playhouse. At this point, you expect that. Archie and Lily's playhouse was infected by butterflies. Unbelievable. It is, again, trying to make the Sussexes, their neighbors, hate them is what they're trying to do. So moving on, let me take this out. Wait, did I miss? I think I missed. Oh, Alan, thank you so much for your donation. I appreciate it. Thank you so. Actually, Alan Vernon, have you been here before, Alan? I don't recall. And if you have, I apologize. But welcome if this is your first time, and I appreciate your donation. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. So, okay, so moving on. And you guys, coming up in a few days, there is the Princess Diana's documentary that's called The Princess. And normally I kind of stay away from these documentaries because a lot of times I feel like, oh my gosh, can you just leave this woman alone and stop sucking on her bones? And but for some reason this one interests me, and I think part of the reason that I felt that way about the others is because royal reporters from today are all part of it, and they're all trying to get their 2 cents in. But this documentary is different because the director or the filmmakers only used archival footage. No current reporters are a part of it. So the only thing that is there is archive footage, which for me is getting the history of it. You're getting the full, with the report, you're getting the actual sound that was happening at the time. And also the people who, how people responded to Princess Diana in all the many different ways. And it just reading about this is heartbreaking. And so Oprah's Daily, they did a bit of a breakdown about the 8 biggest revelations. And again, this hasn't come out yet, so I guess there was like press viewings of it. And so the 8 biggest revelations from it. Oh, I'm sorry, the 9 biggest. I was like 8. The 9 biggest revelations about Princess Diana, and it's called The Princess. And it says, for those who lived through the time Princess Diana to that time, the princess may not offer any startling new revelations, considering it is only using previously aired footage. However, in the wake of Harry and Meghan stepping down due to the onslaught of negative press, The movie shows just how much the public enjoyed picking apart Diana. The princess explored how, despite her best attempts at managing and even courting the spotlight, Diana was often at the mercy of the monarchy, the press, and the cruel court of public opinion. The princess showed, and these are just things I pulled out of it, the princess showed that almost everything Diana did was up for debate on talk shows. Sounds familiar? While there were certainly many people who defended her, there was also plenty of others who always had something cruel to say in response. This, they said, it was her fault for not keeping Charles and, I guess keeping her marriage together. Coverage of Diana was always intense, but it worsened when she announced her separation from Charles in 1992. As a result, at a 1993 charity event, Diana said she was withdrawing a lot more from public life. And obviously, after that, too, the coverage got worse. But in the wake of the harassment that Harry and Meghan faced, the princess also asked us to question whether things have really improved after Diana's death. It's obviously much better than it was in the 90s, and an anonymous source close to the palace said at the time, but there are still some things that haven't changed as much as people think. And I will debate that things have improved in any way, because not only did Diana have to deal with the horrible press and the horrible public and their opinions, but now we have the added of social media. Diana didn't have that. And so not only do you have the British, now you have the world and all the derangers from all over the world and the world press. And you also have the MAGA group and all of that in the US attacking, especially Meghan. And, the things that, the thing about this is just, again, so many times we like to think of, okay, it's the press. But a lot of the negativity, there is a section of the British public, especially, that was so cruel to Princess Diana. That was so cruel. And a lot of times, people are like, oh, yes, because it's because Meghan is American. It's because she, whatever. But look at Diana was British. She was society British. She was friends with the, the royal family. Their family, her family worked with the Queen. They are part of the same society. And look at what they did to her and how they ripped her apart. And there's a thing with the British culture where men marry into the royal family and you don't even know their names. Nobody cares. Nobody goes after, Princess Eugenie's husband. I mean, other than when he, they needed somebody to throw under the bus when the Cash for Access thing came out. And then you saw those things with him and in Italy with those models. But other than that, you never hear about Jack Brooks Banks. You never hear about, Beatrice's husband. And if you see them together, it's nothing but positive, So it's a thing with the British public, with the press, about going and attacking the women and destroying the women, and then feeling like, well, they should take it, they should be tough enough to take. Why should anybody have to put up with abuse? Why should anyone have to put up with being targeted and being threatened and being destroyed? Why should anybody have to put up with that behavior? And then if you notice what it said, when the abuse got worse, when she divorced Charles, and especially when she decided to step away, got worse. And it's the same pattern that you're seeing with Harry and Meghan. Everything just literally got worse when there's like, no, we're leaving. Now it's like, no, not only are we going to write lies about you, we are literally going to target you and destroy you. And it is unreal, the kind of culture that is. And I think that's what really when I saw Tyler Perry's and when I saw his tweet the other day, that when I talked about, that I didn't know that I was holding my breath, that I exhaled. And that's kind of what I felt, you know? It is just this unrelenting being target. It's like you're an animal being targeted and being chased by a pack of wild dogs ready to rip you apart. And that's what I mean. That's how I feel looking at it. Imagine being the person who is the target of this. And that's what they did to Princess Diana. And now when you look at it, not today, it's like, oh, Diana, let's get a statue for her. Let's worship the ground she walks on. She could do no wrong, you know? And these are the same people back then who were destroying her. And that's why I'm glad that, you know, this kind of sort of archival documentary exists. That's why I'm glad that, you know, Royal_Reporter, she does all those archiving of old articles, because they would go back and change. And if you listen to some of the British people now, you would think the whole country was in love with Diana, that they treated her like, you know, I mean, like gold, like she walked on water. You'd think that the way some of them talk about her now, because they've gone and, you know, she's not alive to speak up for herself. We can only go back to what, you know, what we remember or archive like this. But as we see with Prince William silencing her voice with the BBC, this is what they do. They silence it and then they rewrite history. So by the time the next generation come up and they are learning about Princess Diana, they'll just assume, oh no, she was loved by the whole country. They just adored her. She walked on water. And they're literally trying to rewrite history. In the sense of, you know, this is Meghan and Harry's treatment of the royal family and a lot of the British people just happened a few years ago. And if you talk to some of them, they're like, no. Meghan was loved from the moment she walked into UK. We loved her. Look at the big wedding we threw her. I mean, and right now they're trying to rewrite history. You know, so imagine Princess Diana is not here to speak up what they're doing. So it is, I mean, I don't know if you guys are going to watch the documentary, but I am definitely going to watch it, because I figure out a way to find HBO. I don't even have television, but I would find a way to watch it, because I think would be really interesting. And it's great that we don't have to deal with those reporters now. It's just all archive footage. So that is really awesome. So, Donna Shekel, what are you saying, Donna? She says, as Wooten puts it, a lot of the negativity is coming from the royal family. The royal family gives the press access to harass and torment the women if they don't comply. Diana, Fergie, Meghan, Sophie, Ed go along. Sophie and Ed go along. Yeah, it's very true. Very, very, very true. They gave them license to go in, especially if that person is like, say, Meghan and Diana, who is just like, no, we're piecing out. They literally gave them license to do it. They just like stand back and watch them destroyed. And it is unreal. It is unreal that people support. And again, I always talk about the Brit, and I'm so sorry, because I know a lot of you guys who watch this podcast are from the UK, and you have to put up with that mess. And you have to, you know, deal with that mess. But it's a barbaric culture. They feed on people. They feed on women who are married into the royal family. It's like, let me destroy you so that I can feel better about my miserable existence. It's despicable. And it's like all of this time, and they still haven't learned. They do it over and over, and they kill the person and then sit there wailing, oh my gosh, I can't believe she's dead. Oh my gosh, our wonderful Diana, the person that you killed. You rip them apart and then have the nerve to have mountains of flowers in their honor and build them monuments to worship them. Wouldn't it be better if the person was alive? You know, so that's why even when people were complaining about Princess Diana's statue, I'm like, yeah, if y'all didn't kill her, then she would be alive and you'd have the live person. You know, it's just I had no patience for that. And, you know, people were like, well, no, she died in the tunnel. No, Princess Diana died long before that tunnel. Y'all killed that woman's soul. You know, she died long before that. And she fought and fought to have some semblance of a life, you know, before that tunnel stuff happened. So, you know, that's my 2 cents on that. Anyways, Adrian says Camilla should feel like her. These people have no feelings. Honestly, they are. I mean, they're devoid of compassion. I don't care how many you know, oh, I'm, you know, supporting this domestic violence, whatever. I was like, you have not apologized for what you did to Diana, so I can't even listen to that nonsense. I literally cannot listen to that nonsense with them. These people have no conscience. They have none. So, but anyways, Mary says no feeling and no shame. No, they have none. They literally have none. Diane says, Mary, maybe Harry will explain that what really happened on wedding day causing the 15-minute delay. I think I know, but I want to hear from a real source. I never heard about a 15-minute delay. 50 for a wedding, 15 minutes is good. I mean, I've heard of weddings that are delayed hours, so 15 minutes is nothing for a wedding. But I never heard about so please explain what the 15-minute delay was. I never heard of it. Again, I wasn't following along at the wedding time, so all of this stuff I'm learning after the fact. So yeah. Valerie, that's okay. I will watch a replay. Hello, Squatties and Pedal. That's all right, Valerie. We got you. Replay is always there. You definitely can catch up on it. So, yeah. Adrian says, and I'm with Elton John. I will never forget what they did to Diana. No. You know, again, today, if you don't know history, if you have not gone back, and which is why I'm happy about this documentary, is you would think they all love Diana. You'd think they all embraced her. You'd think, and you wouldn't, unless you go back in history, you would not realize how much she was brutalized by these people, her own people. You know, and you think of, look at what they're, at the time, Diana had this to deal with. Think of all of this that Diana is going through and add racism on top of it and add social media on top of it. And that is what Meghan is facing. Nobody should have to put up with that. Nobody should have to face and have to deal with that. So that's why I'm glad Harry and Meghan have like, nah, we're piecing out. We're staying under a tree. You will not know anything about us. I hope they stay there until they are showing something. And even then, protect your family, protect your mental health and all of that stuff. So yeah. Church Nelly says, that is why I never understood the British people leaving all those flowers when Diana died. Half of the British people hated Diana, yet when she died, then suddenly they loved her. Unbelievable. Yeah, it's the hypocrisy. It is just the, it's unreal. It's like all of a sudden, like, oh my gosh, my Diana, the people's princess. I mean, you should see the tabloids. Days before, they were calling Diana the W word, and I don't use words like that because, targeted at women. I don't use that. But the blazing hot, headlines about Diana's mother called her the W word. And then she dies, and then all of a sudden they're screaming at the queen, where are you? Why aren't, as if they care so much about Diana. Meanwhile, days before, they was ripping her to threads. I mean, that is the culture. That's why I cannot take seriously any kind of, when Meghan says, she praise or hate, all of it go down the same drain. She takes none of it. She takes on none of it, and I'm glad she has that mentality, because those people like, oh yeah, we praise you. And then in the next moment, it's like the same people are ripping you to threads. Unreal. Lex says, it's unfortunate because Meghan is from the US, but she's able to leave the negativity. However, Diana had no support network to leave. Plus, they took her children. I'm glad H saw them for what they are. Absolutely. She had no support. Even her family, again, that brother who all of a sudden is claiming like, oh, Diana was taken advantage of, that horrible Martin Bashir. What they did, where was he? When Diana was going through all of those things. And according to report, when Diana needed help, he needed a place to just get away and wanted to go back to Althorp. He said no. The same brother. And again, why, this is the same brother who's right now in bed with the Daily Mail and giving the Daily Mail all these exclusives about, Martin Bashir and BBC. I mean, miserable people. Anne. Hi, Anne Fu. How are you? Anne says, even Diana's brother, Lord Spencer, refused to give her lodging. Yep. Yeah. That was the report, that he refused to give her lodging. Even after she died, she's buried on the property at Althorpe House, property where they grew up. And it wasn't, there after they buried her, and it was he had promised to take care of the whole thing. It went into such disrepair that one of the chef, what is it, royal chef or whatever he calls himself on Twitter, he was Diana's chef, and I talked about this in a couple of episodes ago. Diana's chef went to visit her grave and was appalled at how run down it was. It was so unkept. The pond that's circles, I guess it was right around where the grave is, was so dirty and unkept. There's a little like cottage thing that's there that says Princess Diana, whatever it says there. All of it was overgrown and unkept. And he went on Twitter and he called them out, and he's like, look, if this is how I took care of Princess Diana when she was alive, I would be fired. And so he called them out. And again, I saw there was a couple who, they, I guess, go around to these different places and they post their blog, and they went and they were so upset. And they posted it. And that was how I first heard about, how unkept that Princess Diana's grave was. And so after that, and after the royal chef guy, he also actually for a time worked for Oprah. After he called them out, they completely repaired it, and now apparently it's actually there were pictures of it where it's now clean and they take care of it now. But before he was called out, nothing. And now they charge people to go to Althorpe House, so it's not a tourist attraction. Now I guess he's getting money for people to go to visit her. It's unreal these people do. But anyways, moving on from this, it's very, I don't know. Are you guys going to watch this documentary? Maybe we, you can watch it, and maybe we can have a day where we all talk about it and talk about what we got out of it. It would be a day, I guess, bring some tissues, because it'll be sad. It is very sad. It hurts my heart to see people for no reason other than meanness, nastiness, for no reason, be ripped apart. People who are here just doing good. That's all they are. They're doing. That's like, I always go back to, To Kill a Mockingbird. See, you don't kill, something that's innocent, who is literally there doing good, and you're ripping them apart. There is no justification. I don't understand that at all when people do stuff like that. So anyways, hope you guys watch it. I watch it, and maybe we can come and talk about it. But anyways, moving on. This was very interesting. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this. Has anybody seen this picture? Someone tagged me on Twitter, and I had not seen it before. And someone tagged me on Twitter about this picture, and supposedly that is the Queen and Prince, at least that's what they said, the Queen and Prince Philip bowing to Haile Selassie. And if you don't know, and I honestly, the only thing that I had known growing up, my grandmother would say Haile Selassie. I had no idea who he was. Like, I only knew him in terms of like Rastafarians or at least they've either taken his philosophy, or they look to him as like a leader or something. And so they would say, they have a connection with him. So I think some of maybe his philosophies or whatever, they really look up to him. That's all I'd ever known about it. I knew nothing until earlier today when I was like, so I got tagged on this. And so it says, Meghan is the Princess of the United Kingdom. Her Royal Highness, the Princess of Wales, also royalty originated from Africa. Your Queen bowed to Meghan's ancestors. And, looking further down in the actual post, it says, Empress Miran Astiu and her husband, Emperor Ras Tarafi Makonnen, Walden Haile or Haile Selassie. Haile Selassie of Ethiopia. He was the emperor of Ethiopia. As far as is known, Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip have never bowed before anyone else. And so this was the photo, and apparently this is the Queen and supposedly Prince Philip bowing to Haile Selassie. And so today I was like, oh, I remembered it today. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to bring it in. And I had a picture of Meghan in her crown. And I was going to talk about this, about the Queen bowing to a black man and all. I had it all figured out. And I was like excited about it. And then I was like, wait a minute. One, I don't really know anything about, the emperor. I don't really know anything about his rule. And I don't really know anything about this picture. And so it's like, let me go, Google this and just to find out a little bit more about it. This picture and, on your right, you'll see a larger version of the picture. You'll see, I guess, servants are standing around and Emperor Selassie, and I guess that's his wife and supposedly the Queen bowing. And then I ran into this from the Observer. It says a reverse image search. You can do reverse searches for pictures in like Google and to find out where the picture originated. It says a reverse image search using Yandex search engine tool, which you can learn about here, whichever, reveals that the photo was taken in 1955 by a photographer, Alfred Eisenstadt, for Time magazine. So doing the reverse search, and you can do a reverse Google search for pictures again and find out, originally who it belongs to and where it came from and all of that stuff. And so this photo was taken in 1955. The only problem with that is the first time the Queen visited Ethiopia was, as you can see below, 1965, 10 years later. So this photo that and apparently I learned today that it's been going around the internet is fake. I mean, that the people, and I mean, the photo isn't fake. There are people actually bowing to him, but those people are not the Queen and Prince Philip. And, below is the British Heritage has, this article, and also they have video of the Queen's visit to Ethiopia. So this is incorrect. I mean, again, the people were bowing, but one, we can't see their faces. And two, it was 10 years before the Queen actually went to Ethiopia. And so it kind of really gave me a jolt because I realized how easily I could have just come on here and given fake news and all of that stuff. And and I'm sure the person who tagged me, they are not trying to do something nefarious. They saw something that they thought it was real and they thought it was, true. And then so out of the kindness or, out of a good heart, they shared it. And me, the same thing, I was going to bring in and share, hey, look, the Queen bowed to a black man, you know what I mean? And what it really, I guess it really solidified in my mind why fact checking is so important and why the name of this podcast is Facts and 2 Cents. Because, I mean, we're not always going to be correct. We're not always going to be right in everything. And I'm grateful because sometimes that I'm wrong about stuff. We have such an intelligent and educated community that a lot of you have corrected me on things that I got wrong. Because, I mean, if I say something, I may say like a country wrong, or sometimes I don't remember, correctly. And a lot of, like even today when I couldn't remember James Corden's name, where did I get the correct thing? From you guys. You just posted it in the chat, so I remember. And that's why I so appreciate a community that's knowledgeable, that when one person gets false information, quite inadvertently gets false, and really not for doing anything, they're not out to do anything nefarious with it, but this is how false information gets passed around. So that for me, it just solidified in my mind why it's so important to fact check everything, even the things that I'm talking about here right now. There are links in our show. When you go in our show notes, I think we probably have more links than anybody that I could ever think of. I have more links in there about everything I talk about has a link in the show notes, so that you can go back and check to make sure that I got my facts right, and even go beyond those links and find other articles or find other videos that may contradict what I say. So then we can go back and see, okay, well, this is this and this is this. What is the truth? And so, I mean, it really shook me today. I was like, holy mackerel. I just literally, if that thought didn't jump in my head like, Pedal, you don't know who this man is. You don't know if this, what, you know, you don't know about the situation. Go look and see what's on the, like what is being said about this photo before you say anything. And so the same thing I say for all of us, please, please, please fact check. Just because it's on the internet, it doesn't make it true. And like I said, I literally just almost fell for the same thing. And so looking into a little bit about the photo, and then just a little bit about the Queen's visit to Ethiopia. You can see, you know, some photos I have on the side from the British Heritage. And, you know, it's so funny because when I have to, and again, this was all happening today, so I haven't really been able to go in and find out a whole lot about Haile Selassie and about his reign. And I know that, you know, he's very powerful reign. And one of the things that I, you know, and you guys could tell me I may be wrong, but what I read is that that Ethiopia was one of the, and I didn't really know that one of the only nations in Africa that was not colonized, and that was one because of him. And so, but it's very interesting if that's the case, because we're looking these photos on the right. I literally got it from the British Heritage video of the Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip's visit to Ethiopia. So when I went through, and if it's true that it, you know, it was not colonized, going through that royal tour, you would never know it. Because everything, it's like how when, you know, I'm sure you've seen footage of the Queen visiting her colonies back then, or, you know, the former colonies now, but when they were when they were the British colonies. And every single thing was exactly like that. So I was thinking, well, if this is not a colonized nation, why are they, everything is like, you know, from the Queen and him riding in a carriage to their banquet, they're very wealthy, to kids on the street, lined up on the street to wave to them, to, well, this is the first time I've seen this, kids performing with their little hula hoop bare feet. I mean, it was just like, you know, shocking to look at it and disheartening, it because like it's just like when they go to other colonies, you know. It was just like, oh my gosh, this is what it is, you know. So it's, yeah, it was very, very, very shocking. But anyway, Reuters, going back to the photo, Reuters fact checked it. It says fact checks photo does not show Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip bowing to Ethiopian Emperor Haile Selassie and the Empress Meghan Archewell. Post claims to show an image of the United Kingdom's Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, bowing before Ethiopia's Emperor Haile Selassie and the Empress Meghan Archewell, and I'm assuming that's how she says it. The claim is false, as the photo was taken in 1955, 10 years before the Queen and the Duke made their first royal visit to Ethiopia. The photo in question, provided here by Getty Images, has the following caption: Ethiopia essay, Haile Selassie with his wife greeting guests. Ethiopia 1955 photo by Alfred Eisenstadt, the Life Picture Collection via Getty Images. The two individuals bowing before the Ethiopian emperor and empress are not identified, but they could not be the Queen could not be Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip, as their first visit to Ethiopia didn't happen for another 10 years. As reported here in the New York Times on February 2nd, 1965, the Queen's 8-day trip to the East African nation was the first formal call on Ethiopia by any British monarch. Could they have made an informal call? Sure. But there is no indication or no evidence that is the case. So that is Reuters, and there are other websites that had fact checked it. I know I clicked on a couple of the sites that had the images. I mean, Facebook doesn't even show the images anymore. It just says, I think it says fake or something to that effect, letting you know. I mean, you can click on it to view it, but it has the warning that at least what they say the photo is not what it's showing. And again, we don't see the people's faces. And I would think if, as a photographer, you are writing about it and you're the person writing about it, says the people are meeting the wife and greeting guests. If it was the Queen and Prince Philip's, I don't think you would refer to them as guests. So that's another fact checker for that. So again, I say all this to say, be careful on the internet when we're sharing things on Twitter. It's really simple to say, to just hit retweet, and without verifying, without fact checking it, it's very easy to share stuff. Like, when I got it, I actually liked it, and so today I unliked it. And I'm glad I didn't retweet it, but I liked it. And so it's, again, I put, no blame or anything, and just saying, just be careful, fact check, especially old, archival stuff, or old photos that doesn't have specific stuff. Always fact check, because you just never know what the truth is. Again, it happens. So I'm just putting it out there. Anyway, so let's change things up a little bit. Let's bring in a little bit of lo-fi, changing directions here. Yes. Changing a little bit of direction. Work on my little fade action here. I'm gonna definitely work on my Maryman says Reuters article didn't address the real issue. Don't be fooled. There you go. Okay, Mary. I mean, it's addressed the accuracy of who is in the photo, but it doesn't address, obviously, other issues. The point of the article was just saying who they say was in the article was not correct, and the date of the photo, that's what they were addressing. So yeah, any other issues, I'm sure there are other articles that may address it, but they specifically that when you can go back and cross-check about photos, when you can reverse check photos, that's a really great tool when you can do that reverse. So yeah. But I appreciate that. Let's see. Scrolling up. Diane Hawkins, she's talking to Church Nelly, says the Spencer boy has been making coins off the estate since he was young. Was a young boy. He just amped it up later, making big palace roof replacements and bucks off the dead sister. He's been doing a lot of renovations to that to Alta house, and it's like a museum. It's like a museum in there now. They even have like a gift shop and all of that. Like literally, you have to pay to go in there to go into the house and walk the grounds and stuff like that. So yeah, they are definitely making money off of it. And those big old houses, I mean, they cost a lot, I guess, to keep up. So a lot of times these people have, they have big properties, but they're kind of cash poor. So you hear that a lot. So yeah. Let's see. Adrian says, when Princess Grace of Monaco died, Diana had to get permission to go. Really? I didn't know that. Huh. That's interesting. I had no idea about that. But anyways, I forgot. We just changed direction. So let's, we just changed. I forgot I even did the music and everything. But anyways, away from that for a second, we can come back to it later. But away from that for a second, we changed direction, and I just went back and dove right back into what I just was doing. But anyway, so this ridiculous article came out today, but I couldn't ignore it because of the two ladies that that did it. That the article was about, actually. I guess it's the lady on the left. She is. Well, I'm not sure which one. They said it's a mother and daughter, but you know, with us Black people, we don't age, so I don't know which one is the mother and which one is the daughter. Maybe y'all can figure it out. But the daughter is a news editor for People, and they're just so cute. And I was just like, oh, well, okay. Anyone else, I probably would not have done this story at all, because for me, I don't really pay attention to People all that much. But these ladies are cute, and she is the news editor at People, and she's so apparently she decided to she wanted to try the wedding cake. She wanted to taste the wedding cake and baby Lily's birthday cake, that from Meghan and Harry's wedding cake and baby Lily's birthday cake. And so she went to the place that made it, and she took her mother and decided to write an article about it. And again, I guess this goes under the heading of, we have literally nothing to write and we are starving for Sussex content. So we want to taste the wedding cake. But again, under normal circumstances, I would never even pay attention to this. But the two ladies are so cute. And I was like, oh, okay. And so she says, I'm a proud chocoholic. So if it's not chocolate, and I mean deep, rich, gooey, heart bordering on sickly sweet, as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't exist. But I was committed to seeing what was so amazing about this Sussex favorite, that the menu describes as 3 layers of vanilla sponge drizzled with elder syrup and filled with Amalfi lemon curd. The outside is covered with buttercream scent with the juice and the zest of lemon. Chopped candied lemon peel added an elegant decorative touch. And so they decided to, go off and try the cake. It says, according to Rory Brooks, the Violet's general manager, the Sussexes chose the flavor profile because they wanted to make something really British. Truly, it surpassed all my expectations. The sponge was light without being too fluffy and airy. The lemon from the Amalfi coast of Italy infused the entire cake with a pure citrus taste without being overwhelming. The lemon curd almost had a fizz to it, while the delicate buttercream helped to tame any potential overkill. It tasted of quintessential British summer, of Beatrix Potter and Enid Blyton's children's novel, of picnic and sandwich washed down with a glass of cold ginger beer or lemonade. I have to say, I have never heard cake described like this before. And so all in all, they absolutely enjoyed the cake. And so I don't know about you guys. I don't know how any of this would taste. I mean, I'm vegan, so I can't eat any of this stuff. But it sounds delicious. I mean, I don't know. I just thought it was just, silly, but really just kind of cute. So, I mean, I don't know if you guys have tasted this stuff, what you thought about it, or, anything about this, to join these ladies in their joy and enjoying Harry and Meghan's cake and baby Lily's cake. And I put the pictures there only because they're so pretty. And I was like, oh, just to go back for a moment and, just remembering how beautiful they were. I mean, I wasn't around with Meghan's when it happened, the wedding happened, but I could, still appreciated the beauty, and then obviously Baby Lily's cake. But I just thought, I just thought it was the way how they described it was just so, I don't know, beautiful. Diane says, I love lemon flavored anything and would go after that cake too. And, and again, this is the tabloids, and magazines, whatever, just having nothing else to write, and they're just so starved for Sussex content that this is a big news. And I mean, it's just cute, but it was just like, yep, they have nothing to write about the Sussexes, and I am just happy if this is all they can find. Kudos to them. Let them go ahead and write about cake. And then there's, I love this. The last episode, I also talked about Serena, and obviously she is one of Meghan's BFFs. And I love this. Serena was talking about Meghan's wedding and the braids that she, had to get for Meghan's hair, her hair for Meghan's wedding. And it was so cool. Serena Williams had her hair braided in her sleep for Meghan and Harry's wedding. It says, what's so iconic, at least Serena says, what's so iconic about this is, I was like, royal wedding? I'm definitely wearing braids. There were 2 or 3 girls braiding my hair. I was so tired. I was like, I'm going to sleep. And the S by Serena founder said in her life, in Looks video in Vogue, so I lied down and they just kept braiding until the morning. They finally finished, and it was a very long process, but it was so worth it. And I just love her look for the wedding. I love those braids. And, it's so funny because I was thinking about, just braids and how, like she said, it takes a long time. I don't know if you guys have ever done braids in your hair. I did. I mean, my whole life has gone between very, very short hair like I have now or braids. I don't like hair. So if I don't have it very, very short like this, it would normally have braids in it because then I won't have to comb it every day or something, or style it or put curlers, which I've always hated. And so I appreciated it so much because we all, as if you've ever had braids, how long it takes, the pain. And I could only imagine Serena falling asleep and waking up and people still braiding her hair. And I had to learn how to braid my own hair because I have very tender scalp. And so anytime someone would braid my hair, I'd have to take it out because it would hurt so much. And so I had to learn how to braid my own hair. And so today I was just like, yeah, it reminded me of my days. This is me with braids. And this is me. It's just so like, I hadn't seen this picture in so long. And it's like, this is me a few years ago. I think this was the last time I had braids in my hair. It's like, it's been a long time since I'm like, no, I'm just going to go. And whenever I have braids, whenever I, get rid of it, I would literally cut under it. So I have very short hair. So I don't have to deal with taking them out. I would just cut them out. And so it's I don't know what you guys, if you've had braids, what that felt like, but it just brought back so much memories. It's brought back so much memories. And I used to braid hair. I would stand there for hours. I braided one of my friends. It's so funny. She had, she's white actually. And so she had red hair and I braided her hair for her wedding. She wanted braids for her wedding. And I was just like, because I did that for a while. I mean, I'm telling you, that thing will mess up your fingers. It's amazing. So I appreciated her when she thought about the wedding. The one thing she wanted for the wedding was braids. And I was just like, I love that so much. Because, especially with black hair, there's so much stigma against black hair about braids. And for a while, you wouldn't see anybody with braids on television, especially in the US. You wouldn't see anybody, especially braids and dread and locks. I mean, there are situations where people are like, you can't, play sports. They've had people cutting out kids' braids or their locks to compete in competition and all of those things where, so there's always been this thing about black hair and how we choose to style our hair. And for I appreciated Serena just as like when she thought about a royal wedding, the thing she thought of, oh, braids would be, and I appreciated that so much because she brought in something that is vilified in so many. Again, look at how beautiful. I mean, look at that. How beautiful her braids are. Thank you to those ladies who stayed up. You know how long it takes those ladies to braid those hair. And I appreciated that so much, and how she took something again that is vilified in so many ways and brought it into, what they team, the upper echelon of British society. And for me, that meant, as a Black woman, that means so much. It just means so much to me. And so when I read that, I was like, yes. So I'm like, thank you, Serena. Thank you for honoring us in that way. And I just felt like honored, so yeah. But anyways, Diane Hawkins says, Bo Derek's braids were an introduction to the hairstyle for some folks, but you're right, they fell out of favor for a while. Yeah, I mean, and again, white people, they do braids, a lot of cultural appropriation is attached to that as well. They go to Jamaica and they come back with braids because that's a sign that they've been on vacation. They don't get, and a lot of times you see stuff like that in a white person with braids. It's like, wow, that's beautiful. People, they love that. It's wonderful. But a Black woman with braids or dreads is a lot of times vilified, and we don't have that kind of praise. Meanwhile, this is our culture. This is who we are. And yet people come and appropriate our culture and get praised for it, but yet we get looked down on. So for me, that's why this meant so much. It meant so much to me that to see Serena did that. So anyways, that's just something that I don't know. Maybe it didn't mean, to a lot of people, but it meant something to me. I was like, yes. Oh, thank you, Karen. It's like, oh, you look so pretty. That was my, a few years ago. I'm like, oh, I hadn't seen that picture in so long. It's so funny. When I saw the picture, I was like, I wonder what happened to that shirt. I actually like that shirt. I don't even know where it happened to it. It's so... but thank you guys. I see you. It's like, thank you. I see those. Thank you so much. But anyway, moving on. Invictus games, they are, again, I love Invictus because there's so many different parts of Invictus. That's not just the games, but the foundation has so many parts of it where people can be a part of and benefit from what the foundation has to offer. So they're doing this rowing 4,000 kilometers, meters, or 4-kilometer race, I guess. And so they're doing that, and they posted about it. The latest rowing challenge has been set for the third quarter of the Powered by Invictus League. The league is open to all international wounded, injured, and sick service personnel and veterans via We Are Invictus app. Sign up today. So when you click on the link, this on the right is what comes up. And so I pulled it in because I figured, just in case any of us know of any vets or anyone in our family or friends or whatever, or community that you think could benefit from all of these stuff that Invictus has to offer, please, the link is already in the show notes. Please pass it on. As it says, this platform is for those who've been wounded, injured, or fallen ill or sick during or as a direct consequence of service. You do not have to have competed in the Invictus Games or trialed just to join this community. This platform allows wounded, injured, and sick WIS to access opportunities offered by in the Invictus Games Foundation in order to support or share their recovery journey. In addition, this platform allows for communication between members of the international WIS community to discuss relevant opportunities, share knowledge, and support each other during and post recovery. So again, if you know anyone who fits into this category, please, please, please share this. Again, the link is in the show notes. Share this so that they can benefit from all of the support, love, and all of the ways that that could help with their recovery. So that's one of the reasons I absolutely love the Invictus community. They do so much for that. And also, finally, as Lorna mentioned earlier about CamFed, the fundraiser is going on. It is, at least when I took this from online from the global SUSSEX global community who organized the fundraiser. It was $27,101. Actually, on the right, this is the latest that I got. I'm sure it's more now because I did this a few hours ago. SUSSEX Squad fundraiser. It's $27,733. And again, our the goal that the goal where we started was 10,000. Now it's up to 27,000. Over 27,000 is probably 28 by now. So again, if you inclined to, if you can afford it, please support the community. If you're not able to financially, don't worry. Support in whatever way you can. Lydia just posted the fundraiser link in the chat. And there's also in the show notes, the link is there. Please go. Oh, Lydia just posted that it is now thank you, Lydia. It is now $28,571 raised, 479 supporters so far. So it is amazing, guys. I mean, so many people that are part of CamFed will benefit from this. It is, I'm so proud of all the things that we have been doing as a squad, as a SUSSEX squad. Yes, we're crazy. Yes, we're all over the place sometimes. Yes, we're dysfunctional in some ways, but I'm telling you, I would have it no other way. I would absolutely have it no other way. So thank you for all of you who've already supported. And again, the link is in the show notes. And the link is in the show notes for everything we talked about today. So check it out. So yeah, so that's it. That's all I got. Let me jump in the chat to see what y'all are talking about. And take a look at a few more comments before we head out. This has been almost 2 hours. I think I talk way too much sometimes. So yeah, let's see. Let's see where we are. Mercedes says, why would the ex-husband have control over her burial? The kid should have stepped in, and I will never understand that. What are we talking about? Oh, wait. Are you talking about Donald Trump and Ivana Trump buried in the 17th? I heard about that. That's creepy. That's seriously creepy. Someone said it was like a tax write-off or something, which I wouldn't be surprised, with Donald Trump. And yeah, that's very creepy. And also, if you haven't heard, his Mar-a-Lago estate was raided by the FBI yesterday or a couple of days ago, whatever it was. Who knows what they have found in that? So unreal. Let's see. Mary Davis. Hi, Mary. Mary says that photo would have been a good one had it really been the Queen bowing to a person of color. That would really be interesting. That would really, because that's why I was just, when I saw it, I was like, whoa, that's why I was going to talk about it first. And then I was like, well, let me check out and, just to see first, to read up a little bit on him. And then, to check on the photo, and that's what I is just like, oh, wait a minute. Okay, Yeah, and that's why, again, with all of those things, reverse search is always a good means to go to, just to verify thing. And it's so funny with reverse search. It's honestly, fake squatties have been called out because of reverse search. They've posted pictures claiming that it's theirs and their child, and another squatty did a reverse search to find out that they stole someone else's picture, claiming that that was theirs, and then they were promptly called out and bailed off Twitter and have never been heard from since. And so reverse searching photos is a very good means to find out if something is legit and where it actually comes from, because it gives you the original source of the photo. And so, yeah. So it's a really good means to fact check things, especially photos. Let's see. And Fu says, Black is beautiful. It sure is. I love being Black. And also, too, it's like, we don't age. And I love that. I love that. Lex says, my hair's got long because of the pandemic. Otherwise, I would just get a crew cut. So I have had my hair braided since last August, or have a man bun. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Some people love dealing with hair, and I'm just not one of those people. So I am like you. I if my hair wasn't short, it would be braided. It's short, especially in the summer. It's too hot to have braids. So that would be a mess. But yeah, I don't like dealing with hair either. So yeah. Sharon says, on my way, oh my, I watched Serena play tennis last night and I cry. She is the GOAT. I love her. We celebrate her in Toronto, Canada. Yeah, I heard she played last night. I think she lost last night too. But as we know, this is her final, this is her final tour, as her goodbye tour. And I love the article, and I posted the article in our community page. I hope you guys got a chance to read it. But I love how real, how raw she is there, because so many times, people are retiring and they're looking forward to their retirement. They're looking forward to relaxing. And she was very brutally honest. She's like, I wish I was excited. I wish I was happy about this, but this is painful. Every part of me hurt, to talk. She's like, I can't even talk about it. I don't talk about it with my husband, not even with my parents, because it hurts. I hate leaving. She just feels like there's so much unfinished business she has. But, life happens, your body break down, and she's like, look, I'm 41 and I have to face the fact that, this is the, going forward to the next chapter. And she has Serena Ventures, where, this venture capital firm that really supports so many companies by women, especially minority women, who they raise funds to help companies to grow. And so she is doing that. So her next chapter begun a long time ago, but it's for her just letting go of something like tennis, something that she's known her whole life and loved so passionately. I mean, Serena she talked about just the fighting to overcome, fighting to win matches, fighting, people counting her out and fighting. And I think that's the thing that is really playing on her, to have to give that up. And she just felt like also too, it's not fair on women to have to give up something they passionately love to then you have to give that up in order to be a mother and be a full-time mom. And she's like, if it was a man will never have to make that choice. They will be playing until forever, and it's the burden is on the woman to build a family. And so she's like, it's just not fair. And I totally agree with her. So I mean, I hope you guys have a chance to read her article. It's really 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 good and really raw and really honest about how she feels about retiring. She is not happy about it. She is really hurting. So yeah. Alma, hello, Alma Andrews. How are you? Alma says, Pedal, when I wore braids, I hated when it was time to take them out, when it was take them out time. Yeah, there's a reason why I said I cut under my braids. I never sat there and took braids out. Yeah, because it is painful. recently one of my friends, she texted me like, can you come over and help me take off my braids? I never did make it over there because I was doing something, but it is painful to take braids out, and hence I cut right under them and go very short. I have no patience for that. Have a good night, Nash. And thank you for hanging out with us. We're gonna be done shortly. Megan says, are you drinking the same water as Princess Meghan Petal? I'm not sure what you mean. Tell me, explain what you mean by that. I'm not sure how to answer, but I would love to drink the same water as Princess Meghan or Queen Meghan. Let's see, a couple more before we head out. Mercedes says, why would the ex-husband have control over her burial kit? Oh, wait, I talked about that before. Sorry, that's Trump's mess. That is just such a weird situation. Raven says, Petal, you keep saying cam-fed. Isn't it cam-fed? What is it? Oh, no, she said I keep saying camp-fed. Oh, maybe that's my accent. I meant cam-fed. So I'm sorry. It's Santa Valley. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. I said that's right. I think yeah, I said cam-fed. Oh, okay, sorry. It's Santa Valley. Thank you guys so much for correcting me. You see, that's why I love our community. Thank you. It's Santa Valley, not cam-fed. We did cam-fed last time. Lord, thank you. It's Santa Valley, not cam-fed. Sorry about that. And thank you for correcting me. I appreciate it. Thank you. Lord, I'm getting my charities mixed up here. Sorry. Let's see. A couple more. Somebody I didn't look at before. Somebody I did not. Let's see. Karen says, I know I called Karen before, but this is most. I just heard that the new Global Citizen Concert is coming up, and I think it's the end of September. You know, I saw about that, and I heard that there's one in Ghana. I think it's in Ghana. I think it is. So all our Ghana friends, I think there's going to be a Global Citizen Concert in Ghana. So that'll be awesome. Y'all have to tell us about it. So let's see one more before we go. Let's see one more. Wendy says, I love Serena celebrated her culture at the wedding wearing her braids. I do too. And that's why I talked about it, because I just felt like, yes, it was so important. At least for me, it was that she celebrated our hair, because Black hair is not usually celebrated. And I love that. And she looked fabulous in them. I was like, true. Those ladies who did that hair, kudos to them. Absolute kudos to them. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me to my many changes. Thank you so much. Our awesome moderators for moderating our chat. Church Nelly, Lydia, Cookies and Cream, Karen M. Thank you guys. You are most amazing. I think our subscribers only commenting after, after a week of subscription has worked. We have, at least I didn't see anyone. I mean, maybe you can correct me, but I didn't see any trolls in the chat today. So maybe this works. Hopefully, hopefully it works, And so again, if you have subscribed less than a week and you want to chat, join us in the chat, please know it'll be after a week. We're doing that only because we want to cut down on trolls, especially X-rated trolls coming in and commenting. So that's the reason why. And Lydia, yes, thank you so much. Lydia says we are still waiting on archetypes. Must be the end of summer for the podcast. And according to one of our squaddies today, she is counting the days, and she said there are 44 days left in summer. So somewhere within there, hopefully, fingers crossed, archetypes will be here. So I am very excited about that. So yes, waiting. But thank you guys so much. If you haven't subscribed, do what the little scrolly thing says. Please subscribe, click the notification bell, like this podcast, share with your friend, help us to build the community. Thank you guys so much who have joined our 2 cents crew. Thank you for your support. Thank you so much. There's so many ways you can support us by joining. Thank you for those of you who have donated, whether it's super chats, super sticker, donated at the bottom, the super thanks for the videos. I appreciate you so much. And I just want to end tonight with one of my favorites. Let's see. I want to end tonight with something that we loved yesterday. Why not? Let's Okay, guys, have a great night. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you, guys. Again, Church Nelly, Lydia, Karen M, Cookies and Cream. Thank you all. I will see you next time. Bye, everyone.